Everything you value, everything you touch was forged in the hearts of dying stars. But gold is special. It wasn't just cooked, it was born from violence. A single atom requires the universe to scream in a way that shakes the galaxy. It requires a cataclysmic event, a collision of neutron stars, generating temperatures so extreme that protons and neutrons are smashed together by the billions in a fraction of a second. This is the cosmic forge where the heavy elements are born. A massive explosion ripples across the galaxy, scattering this precious debris into the void. To create the ring on your finger, a star had to die. It is a violent, beautiful legacy written in the periodic table of the cosmos. Billions of years ago, a meteor shower rained this debris onto a young, molten Earth. It wasn't a gentle dusting, it was a bombardment. These golden meteors didn't just land, they attacked the planet's surface. But here is the catch. Gold is heavy, dense. When it hit the liquid Earth, it didn't float. It sank deep into the core, locking away 99% of the world's supply where we can never, ever reach it. What we mine today is just the tiny fraction that got trapped in the crust or arrived later. So when you hold a gold coin, you are holding the fossilized remains of a dead star. It is rare. It is alien. And for the last 6,000 years, it has driven humanity completely insane. We assigned it value not because it was useful, but because it was distinct. Why gold? Why not copper or iron or silver? Look at history. Egyptians, Romans, pirates, modern bankers, they all hold the same yellow metal. If you want a currency to last, it needs to be boring. Iron rusts, copper turns green, silver tarnishes. Most elements are chemically active. They react with oxygen and slowly die. A currency that rots is a currency you cannot trust. But gold? Gold is chemically immortal. It does not react with oxygen. A gold coin at the bottom of the ocean for 300 years looks exactly the same as the day it was minted. Here is the most mind-bending fact. Scarcity. If you gathered every single ounce of gold mined in human history, from the pharaohs to today, and melted it down, it would fit into a single cube with sides of just 22 meters. That's it. That is all the gold we have. Compare that to iron. We mine that same volume of iron every 20 minutes. Gold is valuable because it is the needle in the haystack of the Earth's crust. Because it was rare and because it didn't rot, we used it to store energy. Think of a gold coin not as metal, but as a battery. It holds the stored labor of the farmer, the soldier, and the builder, frozen in time. But carrying heavy bags of metal is inconvenient, so we invented a hack. We put the gold in a vault and issued paper receipts. I promised to pay the bearer 1 ounce of gold. This was the birth of paper money. For centuries, this worked. The paper was just a claim check, a shadow of the real thing, but shadows can be manipulated. Governments realized that if they printed more paper than they had gold, nobody would notice immediately. Then came 1971. The tether was cut. The president announced that the dollar was no longer convertible to gold. In that instant, money changed from a claim on reality to a belief in a government. We entered the era of fiat currency. Fiat means let it be done in Latin. It is money by decree. It has value only because the government says it does and because you agree to pretend it does. This gave politicians a superpower, the printer. Whenever there is a war, a pandemic, or a crisis, they don't need to tax you. They just print more money. But there is no free lunch in physics. When you print more money without creating more stuff, the money becomes less valuable. We call it inflation. But it's really just your savings melting away like ice in the sun. This is why gold is rising. It's not that gold is becoming more valuable, it's that your money is dying. Picture a balance scale. Gold sits on one side, unmoving. The dollar sits on the other. Look at the map. Who is buying the gold? It is not you. It is China. It is Russia. It is India. Central banks are hoarding gold at the fastest pace since 1967. Why? Because they know the game is rigged. They saw what happened when the U.S. weaponized the dollar. If you cross Washington, they turn off your bank account. The dollar is no longer a neutral trading tool. It is a geopolitical leash. Gold is the only asset that is not someone else's liability. It has no counterparty risk. If you hold physical gold, you don't need a bank's permission to own it. It is the ultimate financial shield. We are witnessing a great pegging. The world is slowly divorcing the US dollar and remarrying gold. It's a return to the old gods. The shiny rock is reclaiming its throne. This is why the price chart looks like a rocket launch. It's not just speculation, it's a flight to safety. When the building is on fire, everyone runs for the exit. Gold. Wait, let's zoom out. Is gold actually useful? Aside from looking pretty and sitting in a dark vault, what does it actually do? The answer is shockingly little. You cannot eat it. You cannot live in it. It doesn't generate interest. It doesn't innovate. It just exists. If civilization truly collapses, really collapses, gold is just a heavy rock. We do use it for one thing: technology. Gold is the third most conductive metal on Earth, and unlike silver or copper, it never corrodes. This makes it essential for the brain of our civilization. Your phone, your laptop, the satellites guiding your GPS, they all contain tiny amounts of gold. In this sense, gold is the nervous system of the digital age, but this industrial use is a tiny fraction of the supply. The scarcity of gold is the only reason it has value. But what if I told you that scarcity is an illusion? Look up. Above our heads, floating in the dark, is a threat that could destroy the gold market forever. NASA is tracking it right now. Asteroid 16 Psyche. It contains enough gold to make every single person on Earth a billionaire if Elon Musk or a future space mining company manages to capture it. The moment that first shipment lands, the supply becomes infinite. In economics, when supply becomes infinite, value becomes zero. The price of gold wouldn't just dip, it would crash into the bedrock. It has happened before. Aluminum used to be more valuable than gold because it was so hard to refine. Napoleon honored his best guests with aluminum plates and gave gold to the commoners. Then we found a cheap way to refine it. Overnight, aluminum went from a royal luxury to wrapping your leftover sandwich. If we mine the asteroids, gold becomes the new aluminum foil. But it's not just about jewelry. The entire global financial reserve system relies on gold as the ultimate collateral. If gold is worthless, the trust backing our currencies evaporates. Gold is scary because it exposes our collective delusion. We dig it out of the ground in Africa, destroy the environment, ship it to Switzerland, and bury it back underground. We don't use it. We just guard it. It is a shiny rock that does nothing. If civilization truly collapses, you will trade a kilogram of gold for a single can of beans. The surge in gold prices today isn't about the metal. It's a mirror. It reflects our fear of war, our fear of bad leadership, and our fear of the future. Gold is only valuable because we agree it is. And right now, the world is agreeing that it trusts a cold, dead metal more than it trusts human promises. And that is the scariest part of all. Because if we stop believing in the story of gold, we have to face the reality of who we are.